evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, April 13, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Government MULLS competitive process to sell remaining carbon sink. Two regional airlines introduce Guyana-Canada flights. Guyana pushing to get direct flights to the Netherlands. SOCU to probe conspiracy between contractor staff to defraud City Hall of millions. And CORENTYNE fisherman remanded for attempted murder. Now for the news in detail. With approximately 70% of the carbon sink in Guyana's vast forest cover still available, Vice President Dr. Barajagdio today revealed that the government is now looking to go through a competitive process to sell the remaining forest carbon. Here is Vanu Manichand with our lead story tonight.
Vice President Dr. Barajagdio made this disclosure during a press conference on Thursday.
We are looking at going through a competitive process to see that we maximize our take. If we sell, if we extrapolate, we will get over $2 billion earning from this sector, which will go to the indigenous communities. Significant part will go to the indigenous community, over $400 million going to the indigenous communities.
Back in December, Guyana signed a historic multi-year agreement for the sale of certified carbon credits to United States energy major Hess Corporation to the tune of $750 million. Government has since announced that 15% of all the proceeds from any sale of forest carbon will go towards the development of Amerindian communities. Already, some $4.6 billion from the Hess deal has been disbursed to over 240 Amerindian and Hinterland communities. It was previously reported that each community will be receiving up to $35 million and no less than $10 million. According to the Vice President, villages are in the process of creating their development plans and government has already put systems in place to monitor the spending of these funds.
On the village development plans, I think a few villages have submitted. I didn't keep track. 2 weeks ago I spoke and one village was supposed to submit and the others were on the verge of, several others on the verge of submitting. Once the villages ask for help, the ministry has a mechanism through which it can help, but the request has to come from the villages. And the money is already sitting in their account. So it depends on the pace at which they develop it, but they have to go through a particular process in developing these plans. They have to take it to each villages and they have to have a vote on the plan. And that's how you get a village buying into the development plans. And similarly to there's a mechanism to ensure that the resources are accountably spent.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manichand.
Guyanese traveling to North America now have greater transport options after two regional airlines, Dominican Republic-based SkyCana and Suriname's Fly Always, have announced plans to fly the Guyana-Canada route. Vanu Manichand joins us again with the details.
On Wednesday, President Dr. Irfan Ali disclosed on his Facebook page that SkyCana would commence flying the Guyana to Canada route from June 1, 2023. The airline will also fly to Houston, Texas in the United States. The head of state made this announcement after meeting with SkyCana's Chief Executive Officer, Frank Diaz-Gonzalez, at the office of the President earlier on Wednesday. According to reports, SkyCana will be operating 3 flights per week to Canada with a stopover in Punta Cana. SkyCana is a Dominican Republic company with a fleet that includes 3 Airbus aircraft. Several senior government officials, including Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, Public Works Minister Juan Edghill, and Director of Presidential Affairs Marcia Nadir Sharma, were also out of the engagement with the airline officials. Meanwhile, it has also been announced that Fly Always out of Suriname will also be operating non-stop flights between Guyana and Canada. However, Minister Edghill explained that while the airline has already gotten approval, it is yet to indicate when it will commence flights to this new route. Fly Always started operating in Guyana back in 2016 and currently offer flights from Guyana to Suriname, Barbados, and Cuba. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
Meanwhile, the Guyana government is also working to expand flight options to Europe through the Netherlands. Only last month, British Airways started operating flights from Guyana to London via Barbados. According to Vice President Dr. Barra Jagdeo, government is working to get the flagship carrier of the Netherlands, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, to operate direct flights here. Further, Jagdeo explained that while government is engaging and encouraging a large number of international airlines to come here, these still have to undergo a rigorous regulatory process before they can get permission to start operations. Let's have a look.
We're in a process of encouraging airlines to come. We're pleased that British Airways now would give us an access to Europe. We're trying to work with KLM to see if we can get into Amsterdam directly. I think it's in our best interest to get as many airlines to come here to fly to Guyana, possibly to develop Guyana as a hub for regional travel. Also, for a number of reasons, I think, that were obvious to everyone. One, if we have greater competition, the fare would come down. We'd have more choices. And secondly, we'd also have greater freight capacity that would give a bigger impact to our exports. Whilst we are encouraging a large number of airlines to come here, and for the obvious reason that I just mentioned, they all have to go through a very stringent regulatory process. And that is a technical body that the politicians don't get involved in. The Civil Aviation Authority is the fields who heads that they have to ensure that these airlines meet a certain standard, international standard, before they are licensed to fly to Guyana.
Rupasina Ryan joins us now to report that President Dr. Irfan Ali yesterday joined the Seventh-day Adventist Church for the Guyana Conference's 6th quadrennial, and his discourse focused on justice and values as important pillars of a harmonious society. Here are the details.
President Dr. Irfan Ali pointed towards justice and the underpinning elements of freedom and democracy which it governs. He added that there is a choice for all of Guyana to practice such values.
Justice comes with values, and values is what makes society a whole. Love comes with value, and that is what binds society together. We cannot love and we cannot work towards justice if we don't all, every day of our life, adhere to the core values of what love and justice is. Democracy is a form of justice. Freedom is a form of justice. Love for the church is an important component of securing that love and justice that exists.
Ali reminded that government remains open to working with the church and other religious bodies in moving Guyana forward. In building out the One Guyana policy, the president also urged for there to be better citizens of the country and communities.
Share with me those findings. Share with me those ideas and recommendations that will help me to be better as your president and will help us to better deliver to you, the church and the people of our country. In this One Guyana that we're building, I plead with every one of us to be better to ourselves, be better to our families, be better to our community. And if we are better to ourselves, our families and our community, we'll definitely be better to our country. And if we are better to our country, we'll surely be better in service to God.
Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
The Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU, will be called in to investigate an alleged conspiracy involving staffers of the Georgetown Mayor and City Council, some councillors, and a contractor to defraud the city of millions of dollars. According to information reaching this publication, the contractor was hired since October 2015 to execute works such as weeding parapets, breaking up debris, destilling alleyways and street drains, clearing empty lots, cutting down trees, and painting tree trunks and lanterns. In 2017, however, a senior staff member of the council wrote the government for help in footing the bill for the services provided by the company, which amounted to $127 million for the period 2015 to 2017. However, in November 2020, another senior official signed a letter prepared by the owner of the contracting firm accepting that the MNCC owes $128 million. Last month, the council moved a motion at its statutory meeting resolving that 25% of the sum allegedly owed to the contractor be paid immediately and that a payment plan be developed to liquidate the balance. However, it has since been discovered that during the period 2016 to 2018, the owner of the company received $130 million in payments from City Hall. This matter has since been brought to the attention of the relevant authorities, and an investigation will soon be launched. Coming up, government working with Caribbean countries to create first regional food hub in Guyana, and how Akeem Adams became a violinist. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security invites you to discover and support hundreds of unique women-owned businesses at Guyana's largest women's business expo, We Lift 3, Saturday 15th and Sunday 16th of April at Movie Town from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. each day. We Lift 3, women empowering, leading, innovating, and flourishing together. Compliments of the Spotlight Initiative, Nations Inc., ExxonMobil, and the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security.
Thousands of persons in hinterland communities are now receiving 24-hour access to treated water for the first time. They are enjoying the benefits of new wells and water supply systems in their communities. Having better quality water for everyday use translates to an improved quality of life. It is projects like these that Guyana's oil revenues are supporting, with over $120 billion withdrawn from the Natural Resource Fund to improve the lives of Guyanese.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A quarantine fisherman was today remanded by Magistrate Renita Singh for attempting to kill a laborer during a brawl at a bar on Sunday last. Find out more in this Andrew Carmichael report.
21-year-old Mohammed Faisar Ali, a fisherman of Crabwood Creek, Corentyne, on Thursday appeared before Magistrate Renita Singh at the Springlands Magistrates Court, where he was not required to plead to the indictable charge. It is alleged that on April 9, while being in the company of a 17-year-old lad at Caliente Bar and Restaurant at Caribbean, Ali attempted to murder 29-year-old Avanar Stamintro. The police prosecutor told the court that the police were still investigating and the file was incomplete. As such, Magistrate Singh remanded Ali until May 4th. Stamintro is still hospitalized, nursing stab wounds about the body. The police had reported that on the day in question, Ali was at the bar when an argument ensued between himself and Stamintro. Ali then went outside of the bar and waited on Stamintro. As the laborer walked out of the establishment, the teenager and Ali, who were armed with knives, began stabbing the man. The police said Stamintro received stab wounds to his face, neck, and abdomen, with the knife remaining lodged in his stomach. Meanwhile, the injured man's mother has expressed gratitude that her son is still alive. The woman who works as a security guard at the hospital was on duty when her injured son was taken there.
I can't come in with several persons. And I said, bust the gate, bust the gate, bust the gate. And when the other security opened the gate, my son come in. And when me walk and I go up to the counter, there was he with the knife in the belly. The knife was in the belly. And the doctor hustle with him. The doctor moved very fast with he was on duty. They moved very fast with him and rushed down to New Amsterdam. The New Amsterdam hospital, the doctor moved very fast with him. Them help my son. Them help my son a lot. So I must thank the doctors. I want to thank all the nurses and the doctors for whatever they done for my son. For you're doing real well so far.
Is he responding and so forth?
Yes, he respond.
Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Preparations continue for the launch of the first ever regional food hub here in Guyana, which, according to President Dr. Irfan Ali, has the support of other countries in the region, including Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados. Here are the details from Jarrell Bryan.
During the Caribbean Association of the World Bank panel discussion, President Dr. Irfan Ali spoke about the creation of a regional food hub. The first of its kind, the President said that a number of initiatives are being advanced to create this hub.
Right now, we are focusing on the preparation for the launch of the first regional food hub here in Guyana that will be linked to Barbados, because we have decided that we are going to work aggressively with those who are ready to push forward. That is, the leaders have addressed this. So Barbados, St. Vincent, the Trinidad and Tobago, we are working on many different initiatives to see how we can advance this agenda in a very rapid way.
President Ali also noted that the region has a problem when it comes to the affordability of food. According to the President, the Caribbean has the highest cost for a healthy diet. This is something a regional food hub can change.
In the region, we have the highest cost for a healthy diet. This is important because food production is linked not only to social security, to livelihood issues, but also to health. And when you look at a healthy diet in the region, we have the highest cost at US $3.89 per person. Whilst in the US, it is US $3.46 per person. In North America and Europe, it is $3.19 per person.
Among the initiatives being pioneered by Guyana is the development of the regional agri-tech campus. This project is being developed along with the Bangalore Bio-Innovation Center in India, which will see technology transfer. Last year, an agri-investment forum and expo was held in Guyana, a joint initiative between the government and CARICOM Secretariat. Government has also said it will be partnering with the private sector to establish a regional food hub. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
Healthcare delivery to residents of Region 8 will be enhanced significantly with the establishment of 4 new telemedicine sites in the region. Rupasina Ryan tells us more.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony made the announcement during a recent visit to Region 8 for the commissioning of the Paramakatoy Smart Hospital. Through this technology, medical professionals in the hinterland can connect to those on the coastland or the nearest regional hospital where guidance is needed and get real-time assistance. The minister told residents that these sites will be ready in a matter of 2 months.
We are going to be putting 4 telemedicine sites in this region, and we'll work with the RHO to determine which sites we'll be putting this in. And this is not waiting too long because we intend to have these sites operational within the next 2 months. So that's what we are currently working on. The healthcare worker at a remote center will have a computer. That computer is connected to the internet via satellite technology, and they can easily, if they have a patient, call up someone in Georgetown or the nearest regional hospital and get guidance.
The National Telemedicine Program was launched as a pilot project in 2022 in Guns Village, Region 9. Currently, the telemedicine program is also present in 3 other Region 9 communities, Napi, Yupukari, and Parikwaranao. The telemedicine centers in these villages have been equipped with the requisite instruments such as a digital stethoscope, pulse oximeter, infrared thermometer, blood pressure monitor, mobile ultrasound, and examination cameras.
Since we have implemented this system there, we have saved quite a number of lives because we were able to review patients in real time, and then the doctors made a decision that some of these patients needed to get out to Georgetown, and so we organized a medical evac to make sure that they get to Georgetown on time. So this is how technology is going to help us.
Government has allocated some $1.8 billion to implement the telemedicine program in remote communities. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
With over $10 billion in investments being made in Region 6, Chairman David Armagon is concerned about the impact this will have on the already strained labor force in the county. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael reports.
Both government and the private sector have planned investments of billions of dollars in Region 6, particularly at Palmario, where a stadium is being constructed. The $3.7 billion Palmario Stadium is slated to have the capacity of 10,000, and the government of Guyana is partnering with several major players within the oil and gas industry for its construction. A call center is also nearly completion, and when completed, will provide jobs for in excess of 300 persons. Also under construction is a $130 million state-of-the-art business center for persons living with disabilities. This group of persons will be able to use the facility for all aspects of their business, and it is hoped that they will also use the facility to train others. Region 6 Chairman David Armagon says that is only a part of the massive development taking place at Palmario.
And there's another big project going on with Sheriff Medical Center, in which they are now moving quickly apace to set up a private hospital there in Palmyra. Also, there were persons who were given lands for private investment, like commercial investments, and so they are also cleaning land. So if you notice, the entire frontier now is being cleaned because persons have started to develop the lands so that they can put down whatever commercial activity they have been given the land to do.
The chairman says as these activities intensify, it will create jobs, thus improving the employment situation in Region 6. However, he noted that while this is taking place, there is already an issue with the availability of labor in the region.
As I speak, the Berbice Chamber of Commerce, the Central Quarantine Chamber and the Upper Quarantine Chamber, as well as the farming community, have complained bitterly to me that they are not getting labor to work in their respective businesses. And so with this situation here now, where lots of construction work is going to go on, the competition for labor is going to become much heavier. And so the price of labor will obviously go up.
According to the regional chairman, the ordinary private sector players may not be able to compete with the rising cost of labor. He pointed out that once there is a high demand for labor, people are going to have to pay a higher price for it.
As I speak, the Berbice Chamber of Commerce, the Central Quarantine Chamber and the Upper Quarantine Chamber, as well as the farming community, have complained bitterly to me that they are not getting labor to work in their respective businesses. And so with this situation here now, where lots of construction work is going to go on, the competition for labor is going to become much heavier. And so the price of labor will obviously go up.
For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
9 years ago, Akeem Adams first heard the violin in real time through the hallways of the National School of Music and fell in love with the instrument. Now he is a full-time violinist, performing weekly and continuing to perfect his craft. Let's have a look at this story.
26-year-old Akeem Adams' interest in music first started during his time at Mackenzie Primary School in Linden, where he'd often get selected to sing the lead parts in his school choir. It developed further when he joined Golden Grove Secondary School and met his music teacher Bridget Nelson, who introduced him to music theory, and later her daughter, who urged him to join violin classes.
I got into the violin because her daughter wanted to study violin, and I was interested also in studying music, going to the National School of Music, but I wanted to do piano, guitar, and vocals. But the daughter was like, the violin class would be not with a lot of persons, so she wanted company. So I said, okay, I'll just join and go with you. So upon entering the music school, the first thing I heard was the sound of the violin. And being how the space was so small and enclosed, the acoustics was awesome. So the violin sound kind of enveloped the space. And I was like, yes, I'm going to be doing this thing.
Fresh out of high school, Adam started learning how to play the instrument initially from the New Guyana Music School's volunteer violin teacher. But when she moved away 6 months later, he took it upon himself to continue understanding the instrument.
So when she left, I didn't have anyone to tutor me, so I just used resources from online and just tried playing what I heard on the radio and stuff like that.
It all happened naturally for Adams, learning the violin, pursuing it as a career, securing gigs and performances, and eventually teaching music.
Whenever I go to play, just the reactions I would get from people cry, they feel stuff, they want me back, people collect my number and whatnot. I sort of just ended up doing that, and then because there is like such an open market for this thing, because nobody else here does this, or even if anybody else is doing it, it's classically focused. I can play classical music, but being geographically where we live, it's not really a thing here, so I focus more on contemporary stuff.
His first performance at Marriott when he was just 17 got him a standing ovation and cemented his pursuit of music as a career. But the field can be unpredictable at times, and a lack of steady income led him to start teaching music at the Amerindian hostel.
It really depends on the month. For example, May, June, I get a lot of work because lots of weddings and whatnot. I usually, when I don't have anyone calling me, I just go out and busk. I busk at the mall, I busk on the street. You get some extra income. You put yourself out there. In terms of performing, it's not always steady, but I'm a music teacher. I teach children that came out with the Hinterland scholarship program. So I teach them singing, guitar. We want to get them into strings. So that, and currently I'm in the process of working with persons in the prison system that want to like learn music, things to like get their mind off of stuff.
Adams also plays the cello, piano, guitar, recorder, and the flute, but the violin remains his first and main love. Tassia Dickinson for the Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
There will be no retraction of the Demerara Harbor Bridge on Friday, April 14th. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, April 14th at 11:25 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
Parents praise a successful Easter swim program and wins for Berbice and Demerara at GCB U19 Intercounty. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
John Lewis Styles has opened a new department, now offering home goods. Here you can find quality sheets and towels, pillows, blankets, and even bath mats and shower curtains. Organize your laundry with clothes baskets, fabric steamers, irons, and ironing boards. For the kitchen we have small appliances, towels and mittens, pot sets and dinner sets too. Decorate the house with mirrors, picture frames, floating shelves, and decorative pillows. All these and more on Waterloo Street. It's fashion for the home. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Gold mining can be expensive if you don't have the right tools. Mining requires engines that can pump high volumes of water and slurry, the most tried and tested of which are Doots engines. Doots engines are among the most reliable in the world. Where can you get them? At your #1 industrial solutions provider, Sylvies. We have them in 2 to 6 cylinders, ranging from 23 horsepower to 80 horsepower. Most miners use Doots engines because they're lightweight, use less fuel, and require less maintenance because they are air-cooled. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.